Alright everybody, and I'm going to get started. Some folks might want to join. That's all fine and good. Um, yep. Did it link? Did it just put my picture? Whatever. So, if anyone from the good old Street Masters community wants to jump in, play along, they're more than welcome to. This is Poison the Well, so I'm sitting here quarantined like everybody else, so I figured this was a good time. Now that Aftershock arrived the day before yesterday, I got all the cards sleeved, and it's a good time to transition into that, right? So the Aftershock is where Ransom City has had a terrible thing happen to it, and now there's all this toxic goo everywhere. Let's do it with Poison the Well. Let's say the toxic goo starts here, and the Onyx League is somehow responsible. We've defeated the Brotherhood, but maybe we haven't completely defeated Dimitri, so he'll come in as the rival, and that helps finish the story for Megan. There are a few things that's going on here. He's going to constantly be trying to attack Megan, and if Sarah was still in play, which she got defeated last time, so we don't have her as a ally right now. I had to pick some other folks. I decided to pick up James Wong from the Keys to the Kingdom Brook City expansion, and the reason why I do it is he's a little bit like Natalia in that if you keep him around and he's able to attack, he can do some disarm effects and discard a card that the boss controls. This is one of the only ways to get rid of tactics. Otherwise, I'd need Natalia to be able to do her disarm in order to get rid of tactics. Lotus, I'm keeping her around to be able to pull defense tokens off of the minions that are going to pop up. The Onyx League is one of the most difficult enemy decks out there, so that's going to hurt quite a bit. We have all the inactive tokens around, and the boss is going to move around trying to flip them over, and if we are within 3 spaces of an active objective, it's like the toxins or toxicity or poisons or whatever are going to be going off. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to keep them from turning these poison valves on. That's going to be part of the difficulty, and there's going to be a constant amount of direct damage. This could end very quickly because there's so much direct damage is going to be held that we would otherwise need a really good healer, which we have a little bit of healing possible for Megan, but not necessarily 100% reliable to be able to do that. But that will also allow Clint to take some healing if needed once we get it out. That part will be cool. Clint being able to fire at a distance will hopefully mean that we don't have to get too close to the active objectives, and we'll see how that goes. He's going to make a transit around. Maybe we'll be able to shut one off on one side of the board and shut the other one off on the other side of the board and just kind of keep him towards a certain amount so he doesn't get all 5 open. Dimitri has a ton of health for arrival. He's got 14, so he's going to be rather difficult to deal with. But he's only a rival. He doesn't have his full number of attacks and tactic cards and all that kind of stuff like he would if he was part of the enemy deck. So that's the storytelling I'm going to do. We'll see how that goes. Somebody was saying like the hands are blurry. Yeah, I know the hands are blurry because I've set the camera up to be able to make it so you can more easily read the cards. So the frame rate is a little bit lower, but the clarity on the cards should be higher. And if you had any questions or anything, you could watch this on your TV, on the playback, or whatever device will allow you to read the full 1080 signal. So trade-offs, if it's too annoying, I'll find some other way of going around it. But right now, using the 4K camera at 1080 makes this work a little better, I think, for your purposes. So you can leave anything in the chat or comments after the stream is over and let me know what's going on one way or another. If there's any rules problems, I can't turn back time and redo everything, but it'll be there in the comments. Just make sure to cite the source that you're using, because there's a whole bunch of more rules and rule books and other stuff going on now that you may or may not decide to use. Speaking of may or may not decide to use, I'm changing up the loot. I've included the Aftershock loot because I want to and I want to change things up. And like I said, I feel like this is a transition into the Aftershock content and the Aftershock stories. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with the loot. A couple of candy bars and things like that aren't going to hurt anything. So with all that in mind, I've got a hand of cards for each fighter. We'll see what those are in a second. I've shuffled everything up and I'm ready to get going. So let's see. We're going to start with a Felicia Salt. She gets 3 punch tokens. And she will go here. Let's see how Megan can defeat her. Now this is a good one to have. So this stage dive, if I'm going to go ahead and put this one in play, it'll allow my attacks to get +1 kick damage, which she doesn't have anything going along with. And the channeled effect is also going to allow me to do extra kick damage based on the number of chi cards that I have, and that's her basic tactic. So the more tactics I get, up to 3, this stage dive is going to be very helpful. She only has 5 health, so maybe I'll be able to take her down right now. So let's see what happens. Looking at all of our options, and James will be able to do a little bit more too, so we'll see how that goes. Right now, I think it would be best to run out that way, engage with Felicia, do an attack for 2. She's going to take 1 kick damage just from having the attack, so I'll throw that there. Make my life a little easier. So that's going to do 2. I got a crit, so see how much more I get. That's a defense. So she gains a kick defense for that. We got 2 damage coming out of that. And we have the channeled effect, so I can move up to 3 spaces and deal X kick damage. So that's 1 extra kick damage. That part's cool. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust James, and he'll be able to move up a little bit and attack for 2. And they are, neither of those are the punch, so she can't defend against that. So yay for us. We will end up getting our first loot card, which is a leather whip. And when we get a grapple attack, we'll be able to use that. But right now we don't have any grapple attacks, so that's not going to help us immediately. There's not much else we can do in the circumstance, so we're going to immediately go to activation. Dimitri moves 3 spaces and attacks. 1, 2, 3. Then he's got nobody he can attack. And if unengaged, attacks the nearest fighter within 4 spaces of him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody's within 4 spaces. And yeah, so there's nothing he can do just yet. And his activate does not move him, so we're okay with that. I guess his only move is going to come from this card, which is probably the way it was balanced out. So we'll see how that goes. Then we'll draw a card for Megan. That'll be projected chief for next time. And keep in mind, I've been running through the story, if you haven't been watching, and that means that I have upgraded cards. So those are options. If you see the gold ones, that's how you get them. You run through the story. Otherwise, you could just shove them all in the deck. That's up to you. There we go. Taking aim. While engaged with Mac, a fighter discard 3 cards from their deck to discard this card. Or I can just hit him with James if I can get close enough. We'll see how that goes. If he's engaged, he'll gain 3 defense and do 2 channel damage. Otherwise, deals 1 fighter within 7 spaces in 1 direct, forces the fighter to discard 1 card. So I have to stay 7 away from Mac in order to not get affected by taking aim, because he has a big sniper gun and he'll be able to hurt using that. Let's look at the cards, see what our options are here. We do have a tactic, so we have steady hand. We'll go ahead and put that one down just to be able to put something down and not waste that card option. Then if I move 3, so that'd be 1, 2, 3. I can move 3 again, or I can gain some defense tokens. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. And then I'll let Lotus jump in behind everybody and give 2 defense tokens to each fighter. So we'll have to resolve that for everybody. But that includes her, that includes James. James right now is really, really important against the boss because he'll have these tactics that work ranged and deals a lot of direct damage that I can't block against. So James is a key ingredient to this success. So we got a punch and a grapple. Two grapple. Another punch and grapple. And another punch and grapple. You hear him rolling around, so something's happening there. 2 random defense tokens. If I use the action, yeah, so I'll use my action to gain more random defense tokens for Clint. Yeah, there we go. There's a kick and a grapple. Okay. Since that doesn't stay in our threat area, we just draw a card. Alright. See where that gets us next time. Now, we have to deal with the boss. Mac attacks and retreats 4 spaces. He's not engaged, so he won't attack and he won't retreat. If you had no defense token, each fighter within 7 spaces. Is there anyone within 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No one is within 7. Would discard. And so he doesn't really do much. Okay. He's not engaged. Deals 1 fighter within 7 spaces, so there's nobody there. So Mac is just waiting for his opportunity to shoot us. And he'll just wait that out. Activate each fighter within 3 spaces of an active objective token. There are no active objective tokens, so we don't have to worry about this card. And then activate. The boss moves 3 spaces towards the nearest inactive. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go there. Okay. Now we're within a danger range of getting hit by all that gunfire, so keep that part in mind. We don't want to be there. If there is no objective in the boss's space, draw one stage card. So, if there's, maybe that just means if he did not land on it when the boss enters. Yeah. So we're going to draw 2 stage cards. So 1 for the activation. Infected Rat. The nearest fighter. The fighter nearest an objective token places the card in their threat area. That is Megan. So she will have to deal with this infected rat, and I can discard 2 defense tokens of the same type to discard this card. Oof. So I have to make sure I have 2. Anyway, now we pull the regular one. Another infected rat. Megan's going to need a lot of defense tokens, or she's going to keep taking damage from these rats that just appear to be crawling all over her body. That sucks. That's sewers. It's what you get. Suppressing Fire. Each fighter discards the top of their deck. Mac deals each fighter 1 direct damage for each copy of this discarded card in their hand. So if we have any duplicates from what's discarded here, Focused Resolve. I have 1 Focused Resolved, and we have Cheap Shot. Alright. I have no cheap shots, so I can deal. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the 1 discarded, or the 1 direct damage. See how that goes. I could discard more cards, but that just gets Mac closer to being able to attack stuff, and that might not just be worth it at all. So we'll see how this goes. We have things to do as far as our upkeep goes, and I'll put Projected Chi into place. This is the healing I need, and I can exhaust it to gain power. I will gain defense tokens if I want from enemies engaged with me, and I can deal 1 direct damage to each enemy within 2 spaces if I use the channeled effect. So I could run in, hit for 2, and then do additional damage that way with additional damage here. I don't think I can get close enough to do that. We'll see how that part goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could jump on top of that. For now, I could jump on top of that. Yeah, actually, this one here does not give me healing. I'd have to use my action to heal. So, yeah, that's I'm right. I'm right on that one. I'm going to exhaust it now. I'm going to give power to myself and to Clint, hoping that that's going to be able to flip me over quicker. I can sit on some active objectives to prevent them from getting turned on, so that's what I'll do. 1, 2, 3, then use my action to go over here. So that's gonna cause some unfortunate circumstances, but that's just going to be what it's going to be. And I'll exhaust James. 1, 2, 3. Move him out that way. If I can get closer on the next round, then I can hit Mac. We'll see how that works out. Alright, I have to take some hits. He's going to move 1, 2, 3 to get close to Megan, and attacks. So that's from this card is the attack. His attack is for 3. Megan's going to get wrecked a little bit on this round. that's 2 punch and a grapple. So that's that one. Then he's going to do, he's going to attack and retreat 3. So that flips this. She takes 2 damage, but she flips to her charge side. Oi. Then 1 and 1. So that makes a total of 6. She is getting hurt. But that part's done. Red Felicia will go here. And she's going to get a card. She's going to get those. Okay. I have to do the upkeep for this. Lotus can make Felicia discard. Oh, sorry. He has to retreat 3. I can either gain random defense tokens or I can discard them from Felicia. Since the math, it sets up that if I move, I can't give any to Megan, who needs it the most, from my current position. But I can make it so it's easier for Clint to defeat Felicia. That's the best I can do right now. So otherwise it would be a waste of Clint's ammunition. So I'm going to exhaust Lotus. 1, 2, 3. She'll go there. And within 3 spaces of Lotus, so 1, 2, 3, and that's going to discard 2 defense tokens from Felicia, 2 defense tokens from Dimitri. She doesn't have an attack, but she does a giggle or whatever, and it's like, oh, I'm just so disarmed. Oh, I can't defend myself against that smile. Then Clint needs to make some decisions. I can do a kick attack against Felicia or gain a bunch of defense tokens. I'm going to go ahead and walk up to Felicia so that I can do get back. That's going to allow me to attack for 2. Okay, so that's going to do 2. 3 damage. Uh, 3 damage. And then I can move for 2. Um, I'm going to make Mac work for it. So even though otherwise I'd hit Felicia enough to do her in. No, I can't do that because I moved up. I can only go this far. It's okay. I'll figure this out. Then I still have my regular attack. So I'm going to hit Felicia for 2. And that's going to let me do 2 general damage, so that's going to get rid of 1. I'll just go ahead and take that for that. That's going to give me 1 of these. I'll exhaust here. And that does the last damage that I need to defeat Felicia. Gain a loot token, or loot card here. Pepper Spray is a new one, and I can discard 1 card, a figure within 2 spaces of view controls. So this will allow me to get rid of a tactic, which is a nice addition, and I don't have to worry so much about James in a pinch. See how that situation plays out. I need to remove her. Now the board looks nice and neat there. I'll just have to check real quick about a work email. It's nothing that I have to address right away. I am apparently an essential staff member or work for an essential business, so even in this crazy time, I have to check work emails because we are going to be open. So you can get all of your needs from what I do for a day job. Then, what do we have? What do we have? What do we have? We can't do anything else. We're going to draw a card. That'll be another get back. So that's the hand there. We'll flip these over so we know that's our hand. And don't get confused on the table. I didn't put the playmats, I got a couple of them on this table just because this is the one I have set up. This is my smaller table, and when I do the larger table, then it'll probably fit both. We'll see how it goes. Then we have a Mac to attack. We attack and retreat 4 spaces, so he's going to attack for 4. It's just going to do a flat 4 damage, and that really messes up Miss Megan there. But he's going to retreat for 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's got to go in a straight line. He got to the edge. I think actually 4. Sure. Yeah, we'll just do that with 4. Then okay, so within 7 spaces, he has no defense tokens. So everyone's going to have to discard a card from their deck. Oh, so that matched that. Okay, Steely Gaze. Oh, it sucks because we could use I always use a tactic. He's going to gain a random defense token and deal 1 general damage. She has no defense currently against the general damage, so boo. But he's going to gain a defense token. He'll gain a punch token. That only happens when he doesn't have defense tokens, so see how that goes. He's no longer engaged. Otherwise, Mac deals 1 fighter within direct damage and forces that fighter to discard a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be direct damage. He'll do it against Clint. Let's start. Wait, not from the deck. So discard 1 card. That's from the hand. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That is all nice and clean. We're back to each button. There's no active objective tokens, so we don't have to worry about. Moves for 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 spaces. We'll draw a stage card. Infected rat. Who's closest? She's got all the rats. Draw another one. Vandal addict. When the boss towards the nearest inactive objective. There are no minions in play. Gains a random defense token. Since there are no minions in play, Megan's down to 5 health. What could we have done differently? I don't know just yet. I don't know, not getting 3 infected rats all at one time with no defense tokens probably would have been a much grander help than anything else. It's one of those things you can't really expect or plan for right away, so it's just the way the world is sometimes. The shuffles are not always in your favor. And that's going to pop in right next to her too. Alright. I need to play Barrier of Will because that is what's going to allow me to heal with a channeled effect. I am so desperate for defense tokens and healing that I'm not really sure what I should do. I think I'm going to have to attack Felicia with patience rewarded just to be able to do the channeled effects and get some healing at the same time, since I played a card. That's all I can really do. So she's going to go ahead and attack for 3, and then it'll deal all the channeled effects, one of which is to heal 1 damage, so we'll just toss that now, and we'll attack for 3 against Felicia. Okay, we got 2 kick defense. Now, that's going to allow me to get rid of, that's going to be one of these rats. But I'm still going to take 2 damage, 3, 4 damage. He's going to move closer. We're dead. What can we do to block his movement? One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the only thing we could do is try to get Felicia to attack. 1, 2, 3. Try to get Felicia to attack James and use him to defend. So he's going to attack for 2. One is a punch. Okay. Alright. Oh. No, let's take that back. When she kicked, we still have to do all the chi effects. Let's keep this part going. 1 additional kick damage would have gone through. and dealt 1 extra damage there, and then it would have been 3 extra damage there. So actually James 1, 2, 3. James wouldn't have gone just yet because we forgot to do the rest of the channel defects. But Felicia would be gone. So, oh man, fly got in here. Which would be a soda. I'm low on cards because I've had to discard, so I will use that to draw a card, which gives me a vaulting kick. That gives me a few more options to think about things. Still have the infected rat to deal with. If I move towards the Mitri, she's still going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to try to attack Dimitri because there's really just nothing else I can do. So 1, 2, 3. I'll set on top of that one, and that is a grapple. And kick against that. Dimitri's still gonna move because this card tells him to move. It's not a matter of that, it's a matter of engagement. And he's still gonna attack twice for 6 damage, which will kill her. Unless I'm able to block 2, which would be highest potential is 4, and then it's still gonna go there. She's dead. So we lost. The math is not in our favor. We lost. I will play through this again, and we'll give it another shot. And hopefully I won't end up with 3 infected rats all at the same time. That whittles her down to nothing. If there had been some other cards going on, I think I could have managed that a little bit better. It's just hard, you know, to start at the beginning of the game like that. I will do the best shuffle I can. Do I think I need to change anybody up? Not really. Having Lotus in play, giving the 2 defense tokens, even though they're random, is a lot easier to try to work with these. If I got Barrier of Will earlier, then having more defense tokens at the beginning of each round would get me closer to being able to get rid of these types of things. So I don't think I need to worry too much about that. On this turn, it would be the first time he would have flipped this one over, and that would just mean I need to avoid this side of the map until I get more healing going. So I'm not that worried about the setup. I think we just had a really bad set of luck in the draw of the cards. So I'll come back later and I'll give this another shot. You guys have a good one. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, or anything else like that, then feel free to let me know in the comments or whatever. Go from there. I'm going to put up a regular episode before I attempt this again, just so you can get all of the new Kickstarter goodies that are coming out in April and maybe at the beginning of May. A lot of us just need something to follow or something to do, so maybe following a Kickstarter campaign will be a good way to spend some time. Otherwise, if you've picked up Street Masters and you're just sitting around after 2020, great. Hope you enjoy it. Am I going to do anything different on the next one? I don't know. There's these mission cards, if I can grab them, that let you do certain things, and eventually can lead to more options, maybe an extra turn. That part is pretty cool, but you have to do specific things that would otherwise use up your current options for later ones. Yeah, I don't know. Turbo dice, another option. We've been getting killed pretty quickly. I don't think we need to speed it up with turbo dice just yet, but I might end up doing that as well. Like, comment, subscribe if you like Kickstarter games and you want to play more. But yeah, you guys have a good one.